Ferrell. I want Will Ferrell.
Exactly. Exactly.
But this movie looks like it's classic Will Ferrell and classic Ryan Reynolds, and Octavia Spencer is in it. So bing bang boom.
Okay. Well, that's it. Well, that's
Put up in the bow unless
I don't need any more information. There you go.
Well, that's it.
Okay. So it's Ryan Reynolds, Will Ferrell, and Octavia. Cool. Thank you.
And it's a musicale. So I mean, one of the no, they're not unknown, but it's one of the characters from The Chi. I don't really watch that, but
when I say unknown, I mean they're not like major.
It's tuition for school, and they figure let's throw a house party, and they're inviting all these celebrities. So it's like Snoop's in it, Lil Wayne's in it,
The more
Lena
you
Waithe.
talk, the less I want to see the movie.
I know, I'm like,
Yeah, and that's how they get you in them trailers. You be like, oh my gosh, that looks so funny. And you watch the movie and be like, that was literally the only.
And it's as expensive as theater.
Like, you tricked me.
Now.
Really?
If I spend
as excited about this as I am, I'm more excited about the Little Mermaid movie,
right?
than I am about this.
I'm gonna follow it. Me personally, I'm gonna follow it. I'm not doing backflips. I do personally believe in supporting Black cinema, and so I'm gonna follow it. When I saw it, just me personally, my first thought, as with many things right now, is why are they rebooting it? Why does it need to be animated? He doesn't. Even if you, I'm saying, because some people, some artists are produced, like their videos are highly produced. You can see there's a skill there.
Yeah.
But from the few videos of his I've seen, because I'm really not chasing Jack Harlow.
I'm an 80s baby.
Well, I'm
a tad older.
I was born in 85, so I don't remember.
I'm 80s baby, but I came into my own in the 90s. I claimed the 90s.
If we get to keep rewriting and adding, now I feel like it's 4-5. Now we just get to rewrite and add folks and switch.
Okay, she added one. You can add one.
Now we'll add one. I found a real.
Okay. Rap.
What?
Boys to Men. Brian McKnight, One Last Cry. When the One Last Cry video came out, I was just like, who?
Dr. Pepper? I know Dr. Pepper. Oh, yes, he was the fellow that used to promote Dr. Pepper. He was the young fellow that did that.
That young fellow.
I'm gonna say Malcolm X, but
I didn't care for Gandhi, but it sure got played. That was too violent for me. I didn't like the murders, the killing scene was too much for me. And
yes, they should have got married.
What was the
mama?
Big Valley, the Big Valley.
I know you're talking about
Victoria. If Ben and Victoria could have hooked up,
they would have took over the
West.
I will say this, and I mean it with my chest. And I didn't realize till I got older. I said, we were talking about Spring Awakening. You want to talk about Awakening?
Girl, I'm gonna claim that one because that was my joke.
Out all night.
No, but
honestly, for the longest time, I thought when I got older, when I became another.
But I'm gonna tell you what, that was Morris Chestnut and Dwayne Martin's first big introduction. And when I first saw me some Morris
and Vivica.
Okay. I
girl,
Vivica was my issue.
Girl, who is this chestnut? Yeah. Yeah.
You know what's crazy? Back then, when Out all Night was on, I only knew Vivica as that lady that was on that BET soap opera.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Generations.
Yep.
That
I can say though, Morris Chestnut has aged very well.
He has.
Because I saw it.
Unlike Omar Epps.
The most recent
Omar, I don't know what happened to Omar, but God help him.
I don't know. But more the last
Omar was not never cute.
He had a moment in time.
And it was a moment. It was like a cool. But Morris Chestnut, he didn't have a moment. He had more than a moment. But like I saw the most recent thing he was in, and I was like,
Morris is the moment. But anyway, he's married. It's like his moment.
Okay, I can look. Take him off TV then. Because if you keep putting him out there, I'm going to keep looking at him.
Omar, when Juice came out, I was like...
You got the juice?
my friend Omar, I was just like, y'all need your eyes checked. Who are y'all looking at?
Yeah, Omar.
No, ma'am.
I never was like an Omar, like no, I never. No, like because I liked his acting in it. I was never like an
Very
Omar
good actor.
Fangirl.
When he did Love and Basketball, I thought that was his moment. That was his little period in the early 2000s. Like he
Even though I like later, and I was like, oh no, she should not have ended up with him. He was horrible.
No, really not. He didn't deserve her. Like he was a major jerk.
He treated her like crap the whole time from the beginning. Oh no,
I often said that, like
adult eyeballs, and I was like,
Yeah,
no, that's not cute, girl. Girl,
you don't get the double or nothing me. No, sir.
Girl, no. You gave up your life and your goals and your drink. Girl, no.
It was major in our house. No. Well, that came out in the 80s, but this went over into the 90s. Here's what I'm going to take. I'm going to do 227 and Amen.
Oh.
There you go. 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 Oh, why did I say Friday for one of my movies?
I don't know why you didn't say Friday for one of your movies.
Well, I'm gonna take your
cloning. Although the Steve Urkel character was fine, but it was, to me, wasn't necessary. And then when he was cloning himself into everybody, was too much.
And then they started really bringing his female cousin on. That was him, and it was just too much happening.
I don't like the female cousin,
but I'm saying it was too much.
It was the other. He was like. The last 2 seasons, he was becoming everything and everybody.
That's what I'm saying.
And
like,
then,
it was just like
and then they switched the mom at the end because Jo Marie Payton left, and I never acclimated myself to the new mom at all. Like she was a different. It was like when the mom changed. Why didn't I say Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
That's what my gasp was. My gasp was like when you said switch the mom.
I was saying that too. When you said that switch mom, I was like, oh yeah.
227 and let me put in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah, put that in because I feel disappointed in myself because I watched that to the end.
I'm sorry because I cried.
What are we over here doing? I'm gonna replace this with that.
I'm gonna trade you your Cosby show.
I told him, I trade you one big valley for a Cosby show. Then I'm gonna trade you up. We just trade. We are not following the rules.
My people, if I didn't do a different world.
The rules. 3 became 6. Now we at 12, 24. Okay, all right. I think we got it.
I feel good in my sanctified soul now.
I think we got it. I think we Pokemon deck.
Okay. All right. So
y'all forgot about the MC Hammer cartoon. It's like,
no, I
we're
didn't.
done.
No, I did not.
You about to be put out now.
No, I didn't.
Oh my gosh. That in the 90s, between the late 80s and the 90s, it was like, why is everybody getting a cartoon? Magic pants, though. Oh my God. No, his shoes were magic. They talked, remember?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to have nightmares about them shoes. Let's go.
I'm going to have a nightmare about that animation.
Wanted was when girls were wearing like the wingtip shoes and the dress pants with the suspenders, and Daddy was just like, why do you want to look like a man?
That look pretty much came back, and I'm a fan of that.
And I'm still here for it, okay?
Like,
and
I'm a fan of that look. Because y'all gonna mess around, y'all gonna see me with
overall
over the top of the combat boot.
Oh yeah, that's what we did in the 90s. And you had to fold your socks just
when
right.
I put that outfit together, I was like,
you thought you was it.
Yeah,
you thought you served like, it. You served.
No. Cause then because I remember like my friends, everybody was like, "Oh my God!"
You wore a color of socks to match it. So if you had on 2 colors, you had on. If you wore white and black, you had white and black socks. If you had on
blue and purple, you had
white,
socks.
black, and red, you had white, black, and red socks on.
Crunchies. So whatever you was wearing, cause I had me some scrunchies to where your scrunchies are like taking up the whole half of your back of your head, and you just pile them.
See, we had the scrunchies in the 90s, but we had that banana clip in the 80s, okay?
I can't even do banana clip no more because my hair is like, okay, banana clip. Okay.
All about that banana clip in the 80s. But in the 90s, it was also the colored tights and your tights
and
matching.
They came back. Colored tights came back.
Your outfit. And I had every color known to man. I was serious about it. Thank you, Jesus. There were no camera phones.
Ooh, I can't even.
I was
like some of the pictures that have come out of the 90s. I'm like, that's enough. That's enough.
We have two uncles actually that captured a lot of things on film, and I'm so glad that we wasn't around them a lot because the couple of pictures that they have are mortifying. I'm so glad that they got more of my cousins than they got of us, and actually they have the least of me because I was older.
Yeah,
but that hair.
Yeah, because Shani had a big pineapple ponytail with the swoop bang.
The one I couldn't get in the car with.
Yes, it was called it was pineapple ponytail. You
I remember
ponytail, and it was like strips, all that, and then you had a.
Shani believed in some ponytails and you back had in the day.
A swoop bang. A big old swoop bag, and you was like,
I did not play about my swoop now. I ain't playing about my swoop.
Girl, you was swoop the doops. Swoop the flip up.
Then the bun.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't playing about my flipping the back on my swoop, okay?
Girl, when I was getting really let us get our hair done like that. So like that's the time we really got our hair done. So, but I speak for me because you were already old around that point. But like, I know my mom was like,
because ponytails were so popular, and you back then, like you had the slick, like because you was getting your perm bone straight.
Yes.
So you was slicking that hair all the way down, and then don't be trying to get cute and try to lay down some baby hair. And then if you did a swoop, then you got to make sure that's laying just right, or even however you did your bang, your bangs, and you got to make sure your back is like
a tub of that brown gel with the white top.
I lived and breathed that Pro Style gel.
Yeah, bro. With the white top, it was a big, and you just.
Yeah, and I'm like you. It's a wonder. I had 2 strands of hair left in my head the way I was putting that stuff in my head.
Yeah, and then we started thinking we started mixing it with gel and hair grease, them together to make your hair look shiny. But it still was just as damaging. But it was like you would mix them together, like you would put a scoop of gel, a good scoop of hair grease, put them and your hair would be slicked and shiny, but just as hard and dry.
I think if I would have to have a camera phone back,
Brown,
K. Brown and Regina Hall, and I thought the movie was absolutely hilarious. Most of it. There are some parts that
are not funny.
Perfect for people all the time. That feeling of saying the right thing, being the right thing, because you're being scrutinized and watched. That feeling. That'll make you lose your mind. Why she told him when he kept bothering her about that hat, and she was like,
"It's gonna be a line." We
said, Lee Curtis, there are some things like this hat.
You got to keep yourself until you a God,
and the God you serve.
Her hat. You're going through this because of your struggles. Your struggles is what caused the issue. Your struggles of being. I'll put it this way. I'm gonna make it family friendly, but you focus, Shani. You listening? You ready? They're in the bed at night. We could do it
the regular way.
The regular way.
I heard that part, but Jalea wouldn't leave.
She was like, I thought we could do it the regular way, and he's like, okay. So he tries to do it facing her,
and he can't.
ED happens. I'm gonna say ED happens. And he was the other thing. And so she gives him a Benjamin James. And he's able to accomplish his
I can't breathe.
I'm trying to make sure we can say what we need to say without saying what we need to say.
I appreciate that. They're very creative.
And he's able to, and he doesn't.
We gotta take communion tomorrow, y'all.
He doesn't even realize that
Nothing.
is a problem.
She didn't get anything out of it.
No,
nope.
He's like basically,
and
like,
he was done in like 2.5
yeah, he's
seconds.
like, thanks, babe, and she's like, okay. So it's like that scene. You can't. It's like by that point, it's like when I got to that scene in the movie, I was like, okay, he's not even bi. He's gay. He's
gay.
Not attracted to women.
Nope.
So
that's when I saw that. That's when I was like,
yeah.
he ain't with you.
Yeah. And a lot of it is
he ain't with you for you.
No, it's. Oh.
Yeah, I was thinking when I was, you know how people like.
I want to take that out to the world, Benjamin James. Use it in your life.
When I was thinking like maybe
because I'm like,
and it was so I do not remember that scene the first time I watched it, and I rewatched it, and I was like, "What are you doing?" Really? When she over her, she said,
You in church with your drawers and socks on?
I was like,
and he was just so bad,
so hard because
it's nice, nasty.
I was like, this conversation is so nice, nasty, and I heard everything they was really saying, so I couldn't do nothing but laugh because I was like, I hear what they really saying, and it's hilarious because they just was so, oh, bless your heart. Well, bless your heart. I was like, I can't.
The church. You another.
And she said, well, bless your heart. She said, well, bless yours. So I was like, I can't with your.
And then she called her a B word after she left.
Made you understand everything in like
how bad he messed with
5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't even a long scene, but he was like, he made you understand everything in that end. Like I forgot to look up that actor. He acted his behind off with that. Like he was like, you gonna feel with
amplified music, but when you realize she out there with that little boombox, and I know what that feel like. I know what that feel like.
That scene is like some people won't even get that little direction. Like whoever the director was for that scene, I'm like that little bit of direction of you see the scene close up with the music sounding like how it normally see, because it's just like
and you can't get into the spirit with a boom.
It's like it's a cheat. The sound's not that she's on the side of the street on the side. It's just
in her.
I'm surprised I'm surprised she only cussed as much as she did.
Okay. I done took that bull. Would you like me to take that bull?
Distracted me in the best way.
I have Face ID on my phone. I'm trying to check a message, and my phone is like, no, I don't know who you are.
I keep looking at your face, and I'm like, them eyelashes. Dang. I can't.
I always confuse their names,
and I know they're different, and they're both in different things. But it just, I go Regina, then I go to
Regina King is from Friday.
Regina King is from Boondocks.
227. We started in 227.
The King is in 227.
But I was saying, breakdown in the church after, and it's like when she leaves, like she makes this. It's like you'd have to hear like the sound she makes when she like
her face,
and she's like,
yeah,
and she's like makes this sound, and I'm just like, and it's like so.
But you knew the breakdown was coming to me.
That point to you say this in a good way. Like Regina Hall, like she looked tense without looking like weird. It's like weird, but she looked like very tense and like I'm holding it in. I'm repressing it. I'm doing
like a child. I'm having to always come behind you to hear what you're saying, see what you're doing. That's a grown man. You can't control yourself. You need to stop at this.
Doesn't care.
That's Meemaw's China. Okay, and you're going to have to sell Meemaw's China in a minute.
He just doesn't care. It's like everything is just like...
Well, he didn't need to be doing a documentary. The amount of trouble you in, you don't need on the comeback. Because it takes...
And that's what it looks like.
Because you're going to have to shut out the people who are talking about you, the naysayers, the people who aren't with you, the people that leave, it takes something to come back. So initially, that was what my thought process was, and so because my first thought, because they said scandal, was I honestly just thought it was money, because they just kept saying scandal. It didn't take me long, because we've been in this for a long time, where I was thinking, even if it's money, it must be a darn lot of money, because he went from 26,000 people down to 5. Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you, anytime you have a mass exodus like that, it's something major.
And that's what I said. I thought it was money. Then I thought it was
first scenes is he's talking about his clothes, how he dressed, what he's driving, where he lives, and so I'm like, he is so arrogant and pompous and prideful. And it's one thing to be about prosperity, about the blessings of God, the kingdom of God. There's nothing wrong with that. Our Father is, but that's not what he was doing. He was bragging on himself and what he had.
It was all look what I got.
Now segue. Pastor and co-pastor
they much.
Now
had me giggling so bad.
This is what I got out of them though, because of the way they showed it, and it could have just been me.
Well, I want to ask your opinion.
More muted to where it wasn't
right. Because when I watched it last night, and it was like the 5th time, that's when I was, because initially I was like, oh, it's just her, it's not him. When I watched it last night and I studied it, like his eyes, when they asked him about, did you know that they moved their church service?
Lies.
And at first, when she was like, no, we didn't know. And when she looks at him, his eyes shifted. And he was like, because if we knew, there are some co-pastory situations where she may be a little bit stronger than him. But for the most part, Easter Sunday service.
Competition and jealousy.
At Easter Sunday service.
Like it wasn't. Mm-hmm.
Sunday service would have been his judgment call, 100%. Easter?
Now, I ain't gonna lie. I did laugh out loud when she was like, when Pastor Sister Sumter, right? And Trinity said, we got 2 gathered over here, we're fine.
I felt him on that. I wouldn't have prayed with them neither.
No, keep your hand over there. We got 2 gathered. But
she just
because I'm like, that's a whole other deep conversation we ain't getting into right now with this movie. But like as soon as the settlement happened, you about to go hit on another dude. You about to
but it's obvious he didn't apologize to her, because the whole premise of the movie is her cleaning up behind him, speaking for him, straightening him out, keeping him right, and her dealing with so much. So there clearly was no apology. That wasn't. But that's not the mentality of a lot of. I don't want to just say men in that predicament, because that number one is a spirit, and that can be any person. But just for the sake of this movie, I'll say, and I have lived in her shoes before with a husband like a boy one. So I know what that feels like, to have a spouse who is cheating and who is in ministry, and you are literally following behind them. The fact that they had choreography told me that they nuck if you buck.
I was thinking, he's about to sing this song, and she's finna be mad and silent in the car. And then she came in with her verse. I was like, what is happening?
And then they played that song when they went to go talk to the other pastor.
Oh my gosh. I was just, that scene, I think that was one of the scenes that really caught me off guard.
They went hard with it.
I was just, because like, he started doing his part, and I'm thinking, okay, he's been selfish and considerate. He's gonna be rapping, and she's gonna be in the car like,
if you ain't been having 500, how you think 500 walked in here today? You going from 5 to 500?
Great with 15 or 20.
A 15, a 30. 45, 47. So I'm like, I took it like as the facts of there are churches and there are pastors that this is the story, with pastors with females or males.
That's why I say you have to watch it more than once.
Yeah.
That was, if you really catch it, she's really saying all the trouble you're already in, all the money we're spending paying these people off, and you want to buy some more suits. You got all these suits up in here right now. That's why she was like, I think you should look again, hon. And what's hanging up in here. That's the end of this conversation to this degree, you know? like when she's the one that's like literally yelling, like, you make sure these were adults and you make sure that that's on my husband. Till the day I leave,
yeah,
it's still my choice to protect him and be here with him. And you don't still get to cast this stone and be in here. In my thought was, even when you go back to the fellowship scene.
Yeah. As I said, I had to tap dance around that.
And even because there's 2 bedroom scenes.